Well, I think that those things are linked, that in fact to have a strong transportation policy, we need to expand our transit options. And I am a strong believer in the investment of rail. So when I first ran for the state senate, I ran on how important it was to have a comprehensive rail system. And just passing this bill this last week, we're going to be able to make progress in Minnesota. But it's not just enough to do it in Minnesota. We need to do this on a nationwide basis. And here's where the federal government can come in. The federal government can use its clout to negotiate with the railroads. I sat with BNSF in my office, and I said, you know, how about you be my partner and we take the rail lines that goes right through the 394 corridor, goes through Minnetonka all the way out to the Wayzata Depot, and you let us share that for commuter rail. And they said, we're open to it. In fact, we're going to be doing that on the North Star line. They're open to it, but they would charge us an arm and a leg. But if we let the federal government take a leadership role in negotiating some of these contracts with the railroads, we can do this. And you know what? It is a moral imperative to do this. We need to get off oil and get out of our cars. And if we look at what's happening in Europe, look at what you can do getting between London and Paris on that Eurorail. There's no reason that we in this country can't do the same. I've actually been appointed, because I feel so strongly, to the Midwest Rail Commission. I'm a rail commissioner. That's one of the functions I serve at the legislature. So I think that this is an important growth area for our country, and I think it's vital to maintaining our competitive edge in the global marketplace. And I see some people in this room who have actually come and seen me in my office and shared their support of this and offered their help. Thank you.
Thank you, Terri.
Well, we have systems designed. This state has been looking at its transportation infrastructure for a long, long time. And you know that from hearing discussions in the newspaper about the Central Corridor line, the Southwest Transit line. There are rail systems under design right now that will help alleviate some of the congestion that we have in the metropolitan area here. But what you want to start doing is what we did a few years ago. I was on the National Governors Association had policy academy teams from 6 states. One of those states was Minnesota. I was asked to serve on that as a local elected official. There were 7 people on the team. We started looking at the interrelationship of jobs, transportation, and housing. You want to start working towards a process where people work where they sleep. And so that you get people living closer to where they work, and they don't have these long commutes. You try to encourage development around transit-oriented developments. You try to encourage some density so that it makes sense to have transit. And it has the double effect, the double win-win effect of helping the environment and creating more energy efficiency and getting people to and from their jobs in a very effective manner. So those are some of the things that we're working on from a transportation standpoint.
Thank you. I think that one thing the federal government can do is use its power of the purse to give Minnesota matching dollars. One thing our congressperson could do is go to Washington and get matching dollars in order to encourage and hasten the expansion of our light rail from Minneapolis. I'd like the light rail to go to each of the western suburbs to take care of all the people that work downtown but live out in the suburbs. It is, again, a win-win-win-win if you think about it. We would reduce carbon emissions. We'd save money on oil. We'd reduce the congestion on 94, 394, and 169. We'd increase productivity because people would be tapping on their emails while they're waiting in the light rail instead of honking their horn in traffic. And we also, and the best part of it is part of it also is we increase jobs here because it will take jobs in order to develop and to operate this. And at the end of the day, we're reducing carbon emissions as well. So it is, and that's something that is absolutely achievable. I mean, that is something that we could get done. We could get funds for something like that rather than using these, special funds for bridges to nowhere in Alaska. Let's use it for something that actually means something and that would get something done for our country. Thanks.
Well, Ash, when we do actually get matching money from the federal government, and one of the reasons why we weren't getting our fair share, and while states all over were beating us at getting that matching dollars, is because one of the requirements is you have to have a stable source of funding that's demonstrated. And until we passed the transportation bill, we didn't have that, and so we never passed that part of the test. Because we've now passed that, you are going to see tremendous growth and tremendous federal funding dollars coming to Minnesota. Thank you. Thank you.